Yeah, say PowerShell is one of the like a scripting kind of tool from Microsoft, which is like a command line shell, or like Linux we have shell, or Bash we have like this. On the Windows we have a PowerShell. Like initially they supported only on the Windows. Now they're planning to implement on the Linux also the PowerShell. And Microsoft developed PowerShell for their scripting language. So most of the automation like we can use on the Windows by using the PowerShell commandlets. Say interview wise, we need to like have good knowledge on the PowerShell also. Most of the Windows automation, Citrix automation, we can do using the PowerShell commandlets. Okay, so now here we have very powerful scripting is available, just like uh, shell or bash in the Linux, and even we have the commandlets also. That means already pre-built commandlets would be available. So that's you no need to write down that automation scripts, but you can use those scripts also. Compared to the commands, normally we'll use the commands in the command prompt, but these PowerShell commandlets are very powerful, and a lot of automation can be done. Okay, so most of the managing the process, services, files, and the registry. Okay, and even on .NET also it can do a lot of automation. Okay, so now what are the advantages and the use cases we are going to use for PowerShell? So mostly for the automation and the scripting, we are going to use the PowerShell commandlets, and easy to integrate with the .NET framework and those .NET functionalities. All these also classes, methods, all these we can reuse. And already most of the products owners on Windows are giving their own commandlets also. That means we just can use those commandlets. Lot of automation has been already developed by those built-in commandlets. Say if you go for Citrix, say Citrix will give Citrix PowerShell commandlets. Okay, if you go for Azure, Azure will provide those. Windows will have those PowerShell commandlets. Okay, so those are administration, troubleshooting, or monitoring. Like most of the administrative operations, you can perform by using those built-in commandlets. Okay, and output also, whatever the output formats you want, you can print that, maybe after that we can manipulate or monitor those also. And the PowerShell available cross-platform. Okay, say here Windows, but on Linux and Mac also they're trying to implement. Okay, so initially they supported only the Windows. Now Linux and Mac also PowerShell commandlets are supporting. And we can use any of the pipeline kind of tools also. Like we can call those scripts from the pipeline in the automation, from the Azure pipelines or from the Jenkins on the Windows. We can use for the CI/CD kind of pipelines also. We can integrate. And remote missions means on the remote servers also we can execute the PowerShell commandlets or PowerShell scripts. You are administrator remote on the remote servers also, we can execute the PowerShell commandlets. Okay, and easy to integrate with any of the third party tools also. So we have a lot of advantages in the automation. like uh, we need to use the PowerShell commandlets, and mostly we will get the reusability also for the PowerShell commandlets. Okay, so now here how to execute those. Say suppose even in the previously we have only for the server class we used to have the PowerShell commandlets, but now what happen is even in the Windows 10, 11 also we are getting like a PowerShell commands we are getting. So now if you go for Windows 10 also, so here we have the PowerShell. Okay, so I click and open that as administrator for the permissions. Okay, so runs as administrators. Okay, so this is the PowerShell command. Like previously we have only on the like uh, uh, server class itself. On Windows 7, we used to install the PowerShell command, like PowerShell installation, but now with the inbuilt itself, we are getting this PowerShell. Inbuilt itself, we are getting the PowerShell. Okay, so now here ISC also, like we have a integrated scripting environment. We can open that PowerShell core. We can, okay, as an administrator, we can on the remote mission also we can perform those commands. Okay, so now we need to open the PowerShell. Okay, so once we open the PowerShell, what are the commands you want to run? Like here, so this is one of the PowerShell command. So get hyphen, and that execution policy also is important. So that get process is going to display all the process whatever is running on this mission. It is going to display like all the process IDs. Normally, like in the Linux, we have the top command. Okay, so now here these kind of PowerShell commandlets for the Windows monitoring, Windows troubleshooting, and Citrix level, Azure level, we should have good knowledge and basic exposure towards not only the running these all, like get hyphen process is one of the PowerShell command, already like written, like that means get hyphen process may have a lot of automation script, but that commandlet will have that automation framework, but that maybe Microsoft itself has written that like a commandlet code. Okay, we just need to use it. But in the interviews, their expectation is even can you write down the PowerShell commandlets also. Their expectation is can you write down even the PowerShell? Say basic commands, I can write down like that, we should tell. Okay, say here, like here, how to execute this is what is the execution policy we have. Okay, so what is the current execution policy says, we can set that execution policy, any restrictions are there or not also. So get hyphen execution policy. Okay, so we need to even set those the execution policies also. If you don't have the execution policies, so those all we need to set up. Okay, so here if you are not able to run those policies, say here we need to make sure execution policies. Say here we are going to set the conditions. Okay, is the conditions under PowerShell loads our configuration files and run those files. Okay, so now here we have in the PowerShell execution policies all signed. Okay, so that means most of the trusted publisher commandlets itself is going to run. Okay, bypass, nothing is going to be blocked. Default or remote signed. Okay, say are restricted. Like this here we'll get this get execution. So that means which type of scripts we can run. Okay, so that's we are going to get it, get execution policy. So when you're typing this that capitals, those also case sensitive, just check those. Always the first letter, like after the word is done, like those should be in the capital letter. Okay, so as of now, what is the execution policy we have? So what is the policy?
Restricted.
Restricted. Okay, so restricted means like some of the third party scripts, those are not going to execute on this. Okay, only like which of the default execution policy for the Windows client computers. That means desktop class kind of computers. This is the restricted policy. That means you need to all scripts is not going to run. PowerShell profiles, all those are not going to run. We need to set that which of the execution policy you want. You can set that execution policy. Okay, what is the policy you want? Okay, so that's we can set it by set hyphen execution policy. Set hyphen execution policy, we can set that. Okay, so based on that, your requirement, which type of execution policies we want, so those we need to set up. Okay, so now here set hyphen execution policy, remote signed, and scope for the current user I'm going to give. Okay, so this, like to change that, like to set the execution policy in a particular user scope we are going to give. So like this, say remote signed. Okay, those commandlets we are going to execute, but by default on the on that desktop class we are going to get restricted kind of class itself. But definitely remote signed, those scripts we need to run. Okay, and if you have any PowerShell script, you have written your own PowerShell script. Okay, so what is the extension of that PowerShell script is? Okay, normally if it is a shell script .sh would be there. Okay, for Python py is the extension. For the PowerShell, what is the extension is ps1. And from the Windows, if you want to execute, go to that script and that script name dot that ps1. If you execute this, that script is going to execute. Okay, so that's how to say if you write your own PowerShell scripts. So we need to save that one in your mission, or we can download it from the GitHub somewhere. Okay, so then we can execute those scripts. Okay, so this is the way we need to execute those scripts. Okay, and even we can invoke even from the PowerShell commandlets also. From the command line also you can open, and the task scheduler, like we can schedule the task when you want to execute like this, we can execute. We can schedule those tasks also. Okay, and what is the purpose of like a pipeline? What is the pipeline is? So what is the pipeline here is like a one command output is the input to another command. Okay, so now here get hyphen service may list all the services, but where object status is equal to running. So now here this is the pipe. Okay, pipeline is like used for one command output is the input to next command, and based on the condition what we have, we can process that. Okay, so that's like here we are going to use. Okay, so we can use like those pipes also, depends upon your conditions, or maybe you want to find something like this also we can use. And at the command line we can pass the parameters also. That means here command line arguments, those all. Okay, I want to pass the, we have already variables in your PowerShell script, and for that values you are passing from the 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 parameters. So now here for execution this script, parameter 1, parameter 2, say suppose example source is c colon data, but in my another script I don't want c colon data. Okay, then I can give my another value like this. Here different command line values we can pass by like different command line parameters. These are called as positional parameters, we can call. That means this is the first parameter, this is the second parameter. Okay, so like this we can pass the command line arguments also for those active. So now here we'll discuss some Active Directory. If we want to work with the Active Directory, we need a module of, that means this Active Directory commandlets all we have with the, all those commandlets we have with the Active Directory module. That means import hyphen module Active Directory. Even if you want to work with the Citrix also, so mostly we should have the Citrix command line arguments we should have. We should have the Citrix command line arguments we can have. Okay. So
But
do you
add
have,
PS snap here, na sir?
yeah,
Citrix.
snap in kind of thing here, but mostly in the Active Directory we'll get that. We are confirming
Hmm.
whether that module is there or not. So import, this
Okay.
is the Windows 1 internal, right? That's the reason it's going to module automatically.
Citrix related add PS
Citrix,
snap in, na
yeah,
sir?
snap in we need to add that, but in the
Okay.
controller mostly we may get that. Previously in
Okay.
Synapse 6 and 6.5 we used to add that.
Okay.
Okay, so now here some of the AD user information, like some say here what is the commandlet is. So at least you should remember 30 to 50 commandlet names. Say here what is the commandlet name here. So what is get hyphen AD user hyphen identity. Say suppose your user is there, right? Okay, that username you need to specify. Say maybe Shiva, Manoj, like this you need to specify the username. So then that user information it is going to display. Okay, otherwise if you want to get all the user details. Okay, so now all users in the domain also, here hyphen filter, that star we are going to give. Okay, so then that displays that. Say here most of them are the AD related, and if you want to create any new user, normally these all will do from we will do from the Windows. We are going to in the AD users, but we need to have the basic knowledge on the PowerShell commandlet also. Okay, new hyphen AD user. That means here we are going to create a new
Yes, okay.
AD user.
Good.
Yeah, we are going to get it. Okay, say we are going to get new AD user. We are going to get. Okay, so like this here, I'll share this document, but on your AD mission, try to run all these basic PowerShell commandlets. Remove the user, password, reset the user, because sometimes if you practice the PowerShell, say for 1 week to 10 days, then you don't like to do it from GUI wise. So how PowerShell or command lines is, initially it looks little tough, but once you got the comfort or once you practice, then GUI itself looks challenging kind of thing. Okay, so that means it's recommended to go for more bulk operations. The PowerShell kind of commandlets are better to go. Okay, so that's easy to automate also. Okay, but initially for 1 week while you are practicing,
It will
it's
be
it looks little tough, but most of the daily activities, okay, say it's comfortable to do through to perform through the
PowerShell.
PowerShell itself. Okay, so these all the PowerShell I have written, I have copied for Active Directory. Okay, organization units, create a new. So we required good basic knowledge on that, uh, 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 this one. Okay. So then IAS also, like mostly IAS has been installed or not. Okay. So now here, uh, in order to install IAS on your server, okay, what is the commandlet? Install hyphen Windows feature, name is web server, and include management tools. That means this IAS management tools also it is going to install. And here get hyphen web state website will show you what are the websites have been published on your IAS. and if you want to start a website, stop the website, and some of the services related, all the services, start the service, stop the service. So those also try to perform from the. Okay, so these all the commandlets I have copied for IAS and some DNS. Okay, so these all we are going to have. So then remove that, or like these all the DHCP related some PowerShell. So you have AD DNS DHCP mission, right? On that mission, try to practice these all the commands. Okay, on the AD and DNS. Okay, so now Citrix wise also. So we are going to run the Citrix PowerShell commands also on the delivery controller, and definitely Citrix wise you need to have 30 to 40 PowerShell commandlets. We should have a good knowledge. Okay, so then on this Citrix, in order to run the set of commandlets, who will develop those commandlets? PowerShell or Citrix? Who will develop those commandlets?
PowerShell.
No, no. Citrix will give those PowerShell commandlets.
Citrix. Okay, okay.
Citrix will give those PowerShell commandlets for those. Okay.
PowerShell is developed by
Yeah,
Microsoft only.
PowerShell
Okay.
is developed, but any product owner will give those commandlets because you no need to write down that script.
Okay.
Okay, so it's
Okay.
that as a bundled we are getting that one commandlet, but it will do a lot of automation for us. That's the reason if you don't want to develop those scripts also, at least how to use those scripts, we should have the knowledge. Okay, so now like we need to add PS snap in Citrix star. Okay, which load all the Citrix snap-ins. Okay, so now here try to remember this command asnp Citrix star. This command add PS snap-in. Okay, which loads all that Citrix snap-ins commandlets, all those. Okay, so after asnp Citrix, we need to make sure like whether those Citrix module has been loaded or not. Okay, so what is the command you are using here? What is the command? Cit get hyphen command.
Module Citrix.
Yeah, say get hyphen command hyphen module Citrix. Then you say you are if you are running from the controller, already you are running as an admin, and that will have. But if you are running as the like a remote administration like this, okay, so now we may need to connect to that mission also. But as of now you are running from the delivery controller itself these commands. Okay, so get hyphen broker hyphen site, what this will do, about all your site information is going to be displayed. Get hyphen broker site will display all the information like this. Here these commands we have, right? Okay, so these you need to remember. So minimum 20 commands, and practice these commands 5 to 6 times on your where you need to run these commands on your controller. Open the PowerShell.
JDC.
Yeah, on that controller, execute all these commands. Say every day also practice for next 5 to 10 days. Repeatedly if you practice, then easy to remember those. Okay, so now the users, like once you go to the office also, what are the users are connected, all these, say if you use for regularly, say lot of automation and lot of ease to access the resources, all these through PowerShell itself is possible. Okay, opening the studio, all those are will take some time, and MMC loading kind of things, all these. Okay, but so PowerShell is very very easy tool if you manage get hyphen broker session. Okay, so now this command will, or this PowerShell snap-in will show us all the connected users and with which mission we can. All these we can get it even from the GUI wise also. Okay, so then you want to stop one user session. Okay, these all automation, like if you practice from the PowerShell, your job also is easy to manage. Okay, so now what is the like scenario stop broker session is doing is,
To log off the user session. So,
yeah, the
log
log
off.
of
We
that
can
one
log off.
particular session we want to log off. Okay, what is that set? Definitely need to remember these all the PowerShell commandlets. Okay, then what is the commandlet here? New hyphen broker application. We are going to publish a new broker application. Okay, so a new broker application, and remove the publish application also. You want to remove that. Okay, then managing the delivery group. Sit get hyphen broker desktop group. It is going to create a new delivery group also, but it takes some time to understand, because before that we should have the mission catalogs and add the missions also to the. These all we have done already from the GUI, from the studio we have done, but now we need to perform those operations
Through the PowerShell.
through the PowerShell also. At least that commandlet name you need to remember. So what is that commandlet name is? Say here in this remove hyphen broker mission. Okay. Then creating a new mission catalog. So new hyphen broker catalog. Okay. So like this here we need to remember these PowerShell commands, and we can create our own new policies also. Okay. So these also, but policies, all these better to do it from the GUI wise itself. Everyday operations better to perform from everyday operations better to perform
PowerShell.
from the PowerShell. Okay, so now here some of the basic usage wise everyday used PowerShell commands also have copied. Now we want to check the CPU utilization on that server. You want to check the load percentage, memory usage. Okay, so these also you should able to tell. Okay, and what is the disk space usage on your Windows also you can run this. On AD machine also try to run. What is the network usage? Say here get net adapter statistics. Okay, so compared to commands, we have normal basic in the command prompt, you will type the commands, right? But based on that, say here, this is more powerful also. Okay, so open network connections, log monitoring. Okay, so then what are the running process we have? Say this is also very important. Get hyphen process name. Okay, so then list all the services. Then you want to clear the cache DNS cache. So these all the steps if you want to keep as one script and you want to execute also. That's commands won't run. PowerShell commands we need to use it. So we'll keep one script, PS1 script, and that also will execute. But in that script you are going to keep all these PowerShell commands in the single file. Okay, so now here start hyphen service hyphen name. Okay, stop hyphen service hyphen name. Restart hyphen service hyphen name. Okay, so to set up the service type as a automatic. So as an administrator, we should have good knowledge in all these basic commandlets also. Okay, make a practice of using for the next 1 week by using the PowerShell itself. You keep chat gpt, and if you got any doubt you ask the chat gpt, and based on that what are the commands you are getting, try to run on your mission. Okay, so these all mostly not Citrix related. So we have the active directory and windows related, these all the steps we are going to perform. Okay, so now again, like Citrix health wise. Okay, so what is this every day you need to check get hyphen broker hyphen site. Okay, so it shows all the VDAs and their information is going to be shown. Okay, get hyphen broker hyphen site. Okay, so that's going to check the health of the Citrix environment. What is the PowerShell command? Let get hyphen broker site.
Broker.
Okay, every day we'll use this. Okay, so then like we need to check that all broker controller. So get hyphen broker controller will verify. So if you have multiple controllers, say we have 4 to 6 controllers, right? Whether those controllers are working or not. Okay, so that's we can get it by get hyphen broker controller. And this is also very important. We are going to use get hyphen broker DB. Say get hyphen broker DB connection. That will confirm.
Whether the DB is running or
Yeah,
not.
database connectivity. Say in order to validate DB connections, we need to check lot of things. But this PowerShell commandlet will verify all those. Get hyphen broker DB connection will verify whether we have the database connectivity or not. Okay, then here get broker mission will check the like registered or unregistered that status also it is going to check and all registered VDS. So again we are going to use the pipe and we are keeping the condition and based on that we are going to validate. Okay, so then which of the missions are in maintenance mode. Okay, so VDA reset the mission, reset that or reboot the VDAs. Okay, so these all the PowerShell commandlets you try to uh, broker session will get the user session details and stop that broker session already we discussed and mission catalog wise also creating the catalogs and how many missions are available in the catalogs. So these all like if you spend some time 1 to 2 hours of time and write down all the PowerShell commandlets and confidently explain in the real time, I'm going to use these all my PowerShell commandlets. Okay, so like this, if you prepare, okay, say people, and even if you start using also in the project also, like you will get good opinion, like you have good expertise on the Citrix, like that. We can get that kind of opinion. Okay, so then published information and some local host cache related. Also, we have some of the PowerShell commandlets related to PowerShell, like license management. Say suppose here, what is that? Get hyphen LIC. So once you go to the office, these are the basic commands every day. Every day you will use to get the basic understanding what is the health of the site. Okay, basic health of the site you want to get hyphen log site. Okay, so then export those logs into some other file it is going to store. Okay, environment complete health check of that health status, and these all the reports also we will generate and will share to like maybe CSV file like that also. Then these all the local host cache DB connection already we discussed, right? Get hyphen broker DB connection. Okay, so monitor DB connection. Okay, logging. Okay, say the so this one is, so for the configuration logging we'll have one database, for director we'll have one database, those connections also we are checking. Okay, so then logging already. So this is we have a like DB connection server name. We have one more. Okay, so then that's we need to like whatever the DB connection string we have, like a database migration wise, we want to change from one controller, one database we have, but that database we want to migrate to another. That's in the controller. You want to change the DB connection like those details. Okay, that's we want to migrate to another. Okay, and which connection string we have, that's we need to check that. Okay, so then So whether Citrix database a high availability, even the database level we can configure the cluster. That means one instance goes down also, the solution is highly available. Okay, so those also we need to check those and backup settings. So these all I have given for the database related, and this also. So this is also what is the status of the. So this also will use mostly get broker localhost cache, and mostly by default like localhost cache is enabled. If you don't want, you can disable that. Okay. So and sometimes you want to by default within a duration it's going to perform the synchronization, but forceful if you want to do the synchronization, you can do this. Say these all the localhost cache related. Localhost cache. These all that I'll share this copy. Some of them try on the AD mission. That means AD, DNS, DHCP, IAS we have, and Citrix related all those try in. Citrix related we need to try
Delivery controller.
in the delivery controller. Okay, and after this, what we need to do is we should write down our own PowerShell commandlets also. What would be the extension of those PowerShell commandlets? Dot PS1.
PS.
We need to save it in the PS1. So basic automation we can do through PowerShell also. We should able to explain. So whatever the commands we have in this, try to run 5 to 6 times, and if you perform we can discuss even more PowerShell Citrix PowerShell commandlets also. There would be hundreds of commandlets would be there. Okay, depends upon the use cases. We should use those PowerShell commandlets, and some automation we can use by using those PowerShell commandlets also. Okay, so if any of the service is stopped automatically, you can start it. Okay, so like this, we'll do some automation also on the PowerShell commandlets. The basic, like just like how we learn C, C++ like this, some PowerShell scripting basics also. So how to write a basic script, how to use the conditions, how to use the iterations like loops. So that's kind of basic PowerShell scripting language also is added advantage. Okay, we can develop our own PowerShell scripts also. So people are expecting as of now in the interviews. Okay, so I'll share this in the chat. So spend lot of